Hello, this is Heather Hoffman, and I'm here today to share a fun one-layer card using the February 2020 Kit of the Month from Unity Stamp Company. I really loved that beautiful sentiment and, of course, the cameras, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of do them together and highlight them with a couple different colors of watercolor. I'm using my Gansey Tambi, I don't even know if that's how you say it, watercolors, but just basically pan watercolors, nothing super fancy. And I picked two complementary colors, and then I have two widths of just a simple flat brush that I'm going to go ahead and use. I'm starting off with the whiter one first, and then I'm going to take that first color and just kind of mix it with some water and just do a quick wash over the image. Nothing fancy, just kind of making sure I hit the whole image, leaving a little white space around the outer edges. And it got a little darker than I wanted, so I'm just going to use a baby wipe to kind of clean out that middle a little bit just to soften the color there. Now I'm going to grab my darker color, thin it down good with a bit of water, make sure it's not too dark. And I'm going to use that to go over those little secondary sentiments in the middle, just kind of a quick wash over them. And the way this sentiment worked, there's kind of small words in between and then one larger sentiment. So I wanted to kind of separate them with my color so it kind of drew your eyes to the little ones that would be easy to miss, but then left the large ones kind of separated. So I also use that same darker color just to add a little bit of darker shading onto the camera as well. And if you're wondering what I'm using there to paint on, it's just a sheet protector with a piece of white printer paper slipped into it. And it's really easy just to use as a mixing pad for my watercolors and clean off. And it's super inexpensive and, like I said, easy to clean off with a baby wipe there. And when it gets beat up and old, I can just get a new one and I haven't wasted a lot of energy on it. All right, I set that aside to dry nice and thoroughly. And now that that's dried, I'm going to add a good dimensional accent. Even though this is a one-layer card, I'm going to use Glossy Accents to go entirely over that camera image. Now, I'm using a small bottle of Glossy Accents, and I have a fine tip applicator that I've switched out the end on there to put on. You can get those and just put them on. A regular tip would work fine for this, as long as you use a simple enough image. I just do enough fine tip things that I keep that fine tip on, but this image is pretty basic, so it'd be pretty easy just to go around and kind of outline and fill out. And this is sped up about 2 times, so I kind of took my time making sure, especially as I went around the edges, to get a nice distinct line, and then I could just kind of flood the inside with that Glossy Accents. And I'm being fairly generous with it because once this dries, I want it really to be raised and dimensional. And the other fun thing that the Glossy Accents does is once it dries, it kind of changes the color underneath. And so even though you kind of washed all your colors over and they're the same, when you look through that Glossy Accents, it kind of gives it a different look and almost makes the color look a little different in there. Definitely with this thick of a coat, you're going to give it lots of time to dry. I left it overnight to make sure that that really thoroughly dried. I always stick my fingers in it too quick, especially when it's a large image like this, so I wanted to leave it plenty of time to dry. So this was the next morning when it's all dried, and you see how just fun and dimensional that is and that great shine you get on the camera. It's just a super fun effect, and then you can take that panel and mount it on a coordinating card base, and you've got a nice, flat, easy to mail, but super fun and dimensional card. Thanks so much for coming by today. Have a wonderful day.